Welcome back to Hertel. Let's talk about money in politics real quick because it is an election season. No, I'm not talking about donor money, although that's part of it. Do you realize the last midterm election? I went back and looked, 2018. Do you know how much money was spent on that election? $5.7 billion. And we're on track that we're probably going to spend more than that in this midterm election. So where's all that money going? There's a thing called diminished returns. There's only so much money these campaigns can actually spend. So why is it getting more and more expensive? Well, there's a couple of reasons for it. Politics is very, very big business in America. You already know that it drives a lot of the news media, including this show. We spend a lot of time talking about politics, although we're not really getting rich off it, although we'd like to. We take PayPal, DM's open. But money in politics isn't just the buzzword of, oh, evil funding money. There's a little bit of that. That's true. There's plenty of corruption. But mostly there is now a power structure in place in America where politics is just really big business. All those networks, any kind of media platform now, they get a nice bump every election season by taking in ad revenue. And in some cases, tons of it. There was a report. Remember when Michael Bloomberg ran for president for 3 months and dumped millions and millions and millions of dollars into it? He actually moved the spreadsheets on TV stations and TV networks because he dumped so much advertising money in such a short period of time. It was their own little line items. This is a boon to media, news media, the commentariat, print media, anything you want to say. If they can sell political advertisements, they're going to do really well on that. That's part of business. Then there's the consultant class, the folks that constantly have to be campaigning because that's how they make their money as professional campaigners. There's more of them than ever, and they're charging more than ever. They got to get paid. They got to show some way to get paid. So that means they have more and more metrics and more measurements and more candidates to try to lure in and hire them. And I'm fine for it. I hope they all make a lot of money. I'm all for people making money in America. Get your hustle on and do your job. I'm all for it. But that's part of where all this money's going to. And then there's the fact that these political parties love moving this money around because it helps them. There's certain ways that certain campaigns can do and move their money around. So even a long shot candidate, we've seen this with presidentials, the easiest way to see it. Even a long shot candidate, you understand the financials of a campaign, right? You can fundraise for your campaign. You sign off almost all your living expenses during a campaign off to the campaign. And then at the end of campaign, you may have some debt. But if you're really shrewd and you did well, maybe you can get an opponent to pay that off for you, or you can write it off. Or if you're really good with your money, you can hold on to that money and roll it forward into some other project. Or you can do what former President Trump's done and roll it into your legal fund. There's all kinds of ways to move money around. Money laundering would be a little too strong of a term. But if you want to move around massive amounts of money and fundraise it and be able to use it later, running a political campaign is a heck of a good way to do it. And to keep it out of prying eyes. And besides, as long as you're campaigning, it looks like you're doing something, right? That's another reason there's so much money in politics. Biggest reason there's money in politics? Nobody said anything to stop it. Nobody's doing anything to stop it. You realize it's voluntary for you to give to one of these campaigns, right? Most of these political causes, political parties, and candidates do not need your donation. But we keep sending it to it. Now, that's your right. If you want to do that, more power to you. Knock yourself out. Just understand they don't need it. And as long as we're feeding this beast, it's going to get bigger, fatter, and it's going to get hungrier. Maybe at some point, we, the public of all parties and all stripes, maybe we should stop giving these people so much money. Make them start working for a living again. Maybe make them earn our votes and earn our contributions instead of just writing blank checks for the cause because the buzzwords are nice. That would probably change politics a lot more than any regulation would. But like a lot of things, like the sports teams where they only start changing things when the fans stop showing up and buying tickets or stop watching, that's what it'll probably take to really change politics, especially the money in it. Yeah, your small contribution probably won't make that much of a difference. But imagine if we demanded the same performance from our politicians we demanded from our sports teams and spent our money accordingly. What kind of world would that look like? More Hertel right after this.